opportunities. We talked about Top Gun. Tom Cruise had the opportunity to remake Top Gun. And think about this, from the original airing of these movies, 35 years is a long time. How are these actors able to get back into great shape to pull these roles off? Well, they're doing things like strength training. They're doing things like cardio, nutrition. They're staying consistent. They're not starting and stopping. And think about it in your own life. You have opportunities to do things with your kids. Maybe you're at the stage in life where you want to play with your kids more. Maybe it's sports or activities or going for hikes. And maybe you're in that 50 plus population where you're not able to keep up. Or maybe you're in the 60, 70 plus population and you want to play with your grandkids. Maybe you want to lift your grandkids. Maybe you want to swim in an exotic place. Maybe you want to go on a cruise or go to Europe. But maybe you're physically not in the kind of shape that you want to be, or you're not confident to walk on cobblestones. These are all normal things, and these are opportunities. You've done well in life. Now's the time to be there and be able to be active and healthy with your family. There's another story that is kind of a heartbreaker, because I wanted to talk about Carrie Fisher as one of those actors or actresses that was able to be part of a reboot. Star Wars rebooted. I was born in 1977, the day Star Wars came out. It's 46 years ago. And, little under 40 years, they got the opportunity to reboot the original Star Wars. Lucas completed his original 3 Star Wars movies: Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. You had Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, and then Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. So those 3 key characters. But in 1983, once they canned and completed Return of the Jedi, those characters were done. And although they did reboot Star Wars and do, the prequels to Star Wars, those original actors were not going to be in the movies. And actually, a lot of fans were kind of disappointed in that. But the original actors were not going to be in the movie. So George Lucas went back in time and made the next 3. Well, some 35, almost 40 years later, there's a backstory to this that I heard Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, share, which I think is very pertinent to this whole idea of reboots and all this stuff we're talking about, is that Carrie Fisher's career in Hollywood was pretty much over. She had done a lot in the late 70s, early 80s, and then kind of phased out of Hollywood and definitely phased out of a leading, female role. She had the golden opportunity that came up, and it probably was circa somewhere around 2013, 2014. But here's the story, is George Lucas held Star Wars very close to the chest. It was his prized possession. He loved everything about creating that. And he was getting older. Disney offered him $1 billion to buy Star Wars. Now, roughly 10 years ago, that was a big number. And Disney had some stipulations, we'll say. So they, number one, wanted to reboot Star Wars so that they could get the fanfare and get the excitement and then start to make the Star Wars universe, which we know that they have done since. But here was the deal. The deal breakers, they said, we want Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, and we want Carrie Fisher. And I'm not sure about the Han Solo, Harrison Ford side, but they wanted Carrie Fisher and they wanted Mark Hamill. So they went to Carrie and they said, hey, we've got this opportunity for you. We're going to reboot Star Wars. We want you as a key player. And she was like, yes, I'm in. She had a background and her mom was a famous actress. She wanted to do it. It was exciting. It was going to be the role of her life again. She came to Mark Hamill, twisted his arm and said, hey man, we got to do this. Mark was kind of like, I'm not sure, but Carrie convinced her. And so basically they came to Lucas and they said, okay, if you get these 2 people, we're going to do the deal. So they did the deal. They sold, George Lucas sold to Star Wars to Disney, and Disney bought the franchise, and then they rebooted the latest 3 Star Wars movies. Carrie Fisher As Princess Leia, you see Han Solo, Harrison Ford, and you see Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. So we have the original core 3 actors in the newest 3 Star Wars. And here's the missed opportunity. Here's the sad part to this podcast, which we all know. Carrie Fisher died. But Carrie Fisher died during the filming of the first of 3 movies for the latest 3 movies of Star Wars. And here was the backstory to this, which makes it even more heartbreaking, is that Disney wanted to go a different direction, and they actually wanted to phase out Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, which George Lucas didn't know this at the time, or he would have probably never sold it to him. But they actually, spoiler alert, they kill Luke Skywalker, and they were going to hone in on female characters, i.e., they honed in on the main character, who was great, and they were going to hone in on the female lead mentor in Carrie Fisher, that she was going to be a key player, and probably a key player in all 3 movies, most likely. I don't see that they would have killed her off, but sadly, she died and missed that opportunity. You know, she has openly shared she had a drug problem, early in her career. And was she taking care of her health consistently throughout her career? I don't know. And it's not even for me to say whether she was or wasn't, but what is definitely true is she had an amazing opportunity to revitalize her career, revitalize this character, and physically she was not able to do it. So tying it back to you and me, holding myself accountable at 46, 56, 66, 76, what are you doing now to stay in great shape so that when opportunities present themselves, whether it's travel with your family, whether it's playing with your kids or your grandkids, or, helping the community, making this world a better place, are you able to do the things that you want to do? Are you making fitness, nutrition, exercise, flexibility work a priority in your life so that when those opportunities come, you can seize those opportunities and you can rise and do the things you need to do to be the person you were created to be the best version of yourself. So hope this podcast episode was interesting. A little bit of memory lane.